Hi everyone. I'm so happy that we just started doing this. I'm gonna put my on my headphones because it's gonna get a little bit loud. Um, just give me a sec. Okay, so I hope that you can listen to me right now. And if you're in the chat, I'd love for you to comment anything that if you have questions or anything. I'm more than happy to answer them. At the end of this live. So we're gonna wait a little bit for people to join and so we can start. But yeah, I'm so happy to be here. Okay, so for anyone who's not here yet, don't worry. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube so you'll be able to watch it afterwards. Um, so yeah, we're gonna start very soon. First of all, I want to talk about websites. Why is this webinar about websites? Basically, it's because as founders, sometimes we overestimate the power of a good website, and I think it's very important for your website to be, you know, really well done. I have a one disclaimer right now. I'm basically building my website from scratch. So if you Google me right now, you probably will look at a very mediocre website. So I'm sorry for that, but I'll teach you how to do a really good website. So yeah, just thought you wanted to know about that. Um, and the tool we're gonna use today is basically two. Well, there's two tools. First one, we're gonna talk about like doing a map on how well you can create a website, because sometimes we just like go into this website platforms. We're also going to talk about a little bit about like where you can build it. But the main thing here is before you jump into designing it or asking someone else to design it for you or whatever, you need to use this tool. And I'm going to do it with you guys from scratch so you understand what I'm saying. And I'm going to share my screen in a sec. So just give me one sec. There's like this template I want to show you. Huh. Give me one sec. I'm not using I'm not using my glasses, so I feel a little bit um give me one sec. I think it's opening right now and I'll show you. Okay, this is not the what I was looking for. I think it's this one. Yeah, so I just found it. Okay, perfect. So what we're gonna build today is a template made by Nielsen Norman Group, and it's a very nice template that I'm gonna teach you how to use it to understand what type of content you are gonna put into your website. So before you jump into designing it, this is what you need to do. I'm gonna share my screen in a sec. Um, okay, perfect. So, okay, now you can see my. I think you can see me now. Um, just change the layout so you can look at me while I'm doing this. Okay, I think it's better like this. I look a little bit better. Okay, so first thing, um, this is the template. I know it seems a little bit overwhelming when you look at it, but I want to show you what are you looking into when you're building a website? This is the first thing you look at. As you can see, there are several things. First, there's an ID. Wait. First, there's an ID. Then there's the depth, the link label, purpose, subject or topic, a URL, new URL if you like update it, and notes. So I know this seems a lot, but I'm gonna look at this as like a tree of information. Okay, so this is gonna help you with is basically um so this is gonna help you basically understand how you're going to build your own tree. So because we're looking at it as a tree, we're going to look at tier 1. As you can see, the ID is like you just assign a number. Okay, so it's going to be number 1 because of course this is like the number 1 topic we're going to talk about, and this is about us. Okay, so every website has this page where it talks about us. That's perfect. And tier 1 basically is the about us, right? Because that's the first page you're gonna look at or like click on. This is not our home. This is very important for you to know. This is not our home. This is just like one of the first pages you're gonna build about us. So you need to, okay, so the label is important, how you're gonna name this, right? And this is very simple about us, but I know that sometimes besides that you're gonna want to talk about our team, your team, who's the CEO, or like other things that you want to include inside of about us. So you are gonna also ID this and like put the name of the depth. So tier 1 is like the first click, right? Like about us. Tier 2 is our team because that's like the second like page inside of about us, and so on. You're gonna do if you're gonna put more labels, more pages inside of about us of tier 1. If you don't want to put all these things, you can just leave our team, and that's going to be tier 2 and 1.1, and that's it. If you have more, then you have to put like 1.1.1. This ID thing, what helps you with is like understanding how much time and like how kind of like complicated is going to be your website to build, because sometimes you're like, oh yeah, like about us, our team, leadership, CEO, bio, that's fine, like it's not a lot of things. But when you like put it on like this, you're like, oh okay, this is like a new page, like this is like the main page about us, and then I have to build 3 other pages, so it's going to take a while to build that, right? Sometimes you're like, oh yeah, it's not a lot of content or whatever, but it is, because each one of these layers has its design, its photos, its text. So you're gonna have to take that into account to build each one of this. And then, of course, the purpose. This is very important for you to put, because then you're like, okay, maybe this is not worth it. So navy link only, like this is just gonna be like when you click on the menu, and about us is not actually like a page for in this case. It's just like a name, right? Like a label uh, on the menu. But then routing page means that it takes you somewhere, and of course destination page is going to take you also somewhere else. So these are almost the same. It's just like basically 2 ways of saying it. And then subject of topic, I didn't put this information here because it's just like the template, but yeah, here then you're like, okay, about us, if this is literally just like, oh, the text, so you don't have to write down anything. But our team might be like, talk about our, I don't know, 10 team members, their expertise, photos, and I don't know, like maybe like a team photo, for example. Okay. And then current URL, if you already built it, then you put the current or URL there. That also helps you like have control on what you're going to build. And if you switch, if you change the URL, then you can put the new one here. That's also very helpful if you're like constantly switching your website. Or sometimes like you can have a lot of pages, some on draft and some like published. So maybe you will have the new URL soon, but it's not published yet. So yeah, those are just like several things that I wanted you to know. And so on. So for example, this like whole thing, from about us to this carbon offsets, this is like an environmental like website, so that's why the names are like that. Basically are all from tire, from like the ID one, okay? Because all of this like are kind of like the same topic. So about us is also like, company history, our mission, and inside of, yeah, and also like diversity and inclusion. So this helps you like understand how many pages you're gonna build. And as you can see, just about us, like tire one, basically, well, tire one has all this like, oh sorry, this, it has all of this, right? And then tire two, it's this. But if you're gonna do one more tire, well, the goal for this is for you to be as intentional with every page you're gonna build, and do not create as like, do not go crazy with your pages. Like this is because this is like a very big business, so of course they need to include a lot of things like diversity and inclusion, environmental impact. Of course it makes sense, but if you do not need all of these things yet, I'd say just leave the most important things that your website needs to have. And then, as you can see, industries is like another one. There's 2.0, and then of course here's like always like the same kind of like nomenclature, like it's always like the same thing, tire 1, tire 2. So you already know that if you click on industries, then you'll find aerospace and defense, right? And inside of this, you're going to find a blog, the how we help clients, and our team. And here in industries, you'll see other also like, so you'll see aerospace and defense and agriculture. Those are the two things you'll see inside of industries. And inside of agriculture, you'll find the blog from agriculture and how we help clients. So this is very important because like, as you can see, there's like a logic, right? Like, and this helps you understand how you're going to build your website. How are you going to include everything inside of each page you click on? And this also helps you understand, okay, maybe this is too complicated for our clients. Maybe I don't want to put a lot of things. I'm just going to like lower down like how many pages you have to click on, and I'm going to do it way easier. Or actually I need to put a lot of info. So this is going to help you organize each tier and each like label, right? So, and so on, like as you can see here, inside of wait, where was I? Okay, so inside of agriculture, there's the tier 2, which is tier 2, which is agriculture, and inside of it is blog and how we help clients. And then there's a fourth thing you're gonna find inside of agriculture, which is all of this, basically. As you can see, it makes sense because all of this are basically, like the company's, how to say this, like it's like the company's teams. So there's a strategy team, there's an operations team, there's a marketing sales team. So yeah, of course it makes sense that all of this is like inside of one thing. And yeah, that's how basically like how it works. This is a little bit crazy. You can literally just like, based on this, I will use honestly like Claude and ask for it to make like my um like a yeah, like a tree for my website so you understand like how your structure is going to be for your website. And this is like a very complicated way to do it, but I think it's better if I show you this first and then I talk about like how do you, so now that we have it like this, like in a boring way, I'm going to teach you now how it looks um on our actual website. So I'm going to switch I'm going to use another how can I call this? I forgot this thing. Okay, I'm gonna go into my website builder and I'm gonna show you guys from scratch how this looks like. I'm gonna use a template. I'm still not presenting anything, so I'm just I just want to show you something. But okay, let's take a look at this one. This is a really good example. I really like this example. This is a website for a client that I'm actually building it for her. So I want to show you guys how I'm doing this. Look at it. It's okay. Give me a sec. Okay, here it is. Okay. So can you see my? I think yeah. So I'm sharing right now. Perfect. So as you can see here, this is like the main editor. I'm using Framer right now, but I want you to take a look at something. First of all, okay, from on this side, I have the pages, right? Which are like the labels that I was talking to you about, like about us and all these things. So here they have home, right? This is the home, basically like the main page. But there's also an about, okay? Which is like about the clinic, right? Like they talk about like what they've done and everything, what our customers are saying. This is a very good one. Service, like what do they services they provide. So as you can see, not only this are like very different pages. So they each one require different designs, but also if I click on this, it's gonna take me to another page. So you will have to put here like, okay, so here like there's like a tool here inside of Framer that lets you do like collections, which means that it's a little bit easier to design anything because it's basically like it makes this like grid, and each one of them there's like a template. You create like a template and you just insert like a photo and the text, but it's kind of like the same information. I'm not gonna go very deep into that because it's a lot more. I just want to talk more about like how like a website is structured. So as you can see, okay, services, there's also a page on this website about reviews. They have a lot of pages, to be honest. I will not recommend starting off strong. I would just recommend starting like with the least you can, even if it's just like a landing page. I think that's best. And then there's also a blog. A lot of websites have blogs because, um, well, when SEO was very important, one of the ways to position your website was through a blog. So you will like make blogs about like articles about like whatever you were selling or anything. So as you can see here, they're like talking about like, oh, December 16, how to handle dental emergency, or top 10 tips for healthier smiles. So this helps like your website have a really good position on Google. So whenever someone will Google like, oh, how to handle a dental emergency, then this article will show up and then you will click on their website and then you might probably like become a client of theirs. So that's like the whole point of blogs. And as you can see, yeah, this is like the main page of the blogs. But if I click here, I'm not clicking here right now because it's not, I'm just showing you like the back end of the website. So if I click here, it's not going to work. I'm going to show you how it works after this. But right now, basically, it's just like if I click here, it's gonna become another page. So that is why it's so important for your Excel or your tree of like your information tree of your website to have all of this like structure. Then here on give, I guess they have like, okay, this is like a gift card thing. That's great. Then they have like a doctor, our doctors, which is like the version of our teams if it's like more of like a corporate thing. And I guess you can click on their photos and basically have more information about each doctor and their specialty, which is cool. And as you can see, there's things that are like duplicating. This is not something you can design from scratch again. Basically, you can create assets. This is like, this will be like a completely new like class. But basically, an asset is something that you build to reuse inside of your website. For example, if I want to put this like final page, right, like the open hours office location service with this photo, and basically in all of my pages on inside of my website, you can actually do that if you create this as an asset. So it's always gonna, you can add it just like kind of like a logo. You can like replicate it as much as you can, and that's very cool. But going back, you can also see there's like a book appointment page, contact if you want to contact them, and like a page not found. I mean, a lot of websites do that. So when people have like an error, this is what you can people will see. So it's very interesting. So besides this, I want to talk about the layers. Layers are basically okay. So I'm gonna go back to the home. As you can see here, I'm gonna go to the about. I think it's this is a little bit easier. So here, layers. One of the most important things about websites is that you do not only have to design like the desktop version, but only also the phone version. As you can see, they have like different. It's like a their different layout, right? Like this is looks bigger here. This looks smaller here. Also, like this photo here is basically like on the right side, and here's like in the middle. So you're gonna have to do all of this like design, and even some people even design for tablet, which I think it's a really good thing to do. I mean, a lot of people uses tablets, so why not, right? But we're gonna focus more on the desktop version and the phone version. So I want to talk about a little bit of the layers. So first we saw the pages, right? Like all the main pages. That's great. But what happens inside of them? So inside of them are the layers. So we're gonna take a look at the layers of the desktop. As you can see, this has a very interesting layout, which is very similar to the one we were looking at the Excel, right? So as you can see, there's like hero section, and heroes section is this one basically. Testimonial. Okay, so testimonial is this one. Then our mission, which is this one. And then about, which is this, like what is the business about, right? Business section, which is this one. And there's also review, which is this. And again, this, which is this one. Okay, this is like embedded on the website page. So I just want to look. Yeah, this is like already like pre-made like this. Like the layout was made like this. I'm not gonna go very deep into that. Doesn't really matter right now. So as you can see, we are looking at a very well done structure. And this is the second thing I want to talk about on websites. Websites are supposed to give you information. Yes, are supposed to have graphics, important text, images, but they're not supposed to be, like a book. Um, I've seen that mistake a lot where websites have become a place where it kind of looks more like a blog or like a book where there's so much text. And we need to look at this as like our business like front store but online. Do you think that if you went to the groceries today, if you went to the grocery store today and you were handed this like discount like flyer, and it had like a text this size, and you had to read like, I don't know, like a big paragraph just to get a discount, you'd probably like use it or something. I don't think so. Well, that's the same thing and logic that happens here when you're building a website. You can't build something that is very hard to use. You need to, you know, get into your client's shoes and understand what information they need to understand to know, to understand how your business works. So as we're talking about this, this is the about page. So before you like just like start typing a lot of things and like going crazy about your website, and I'm telling you this because I've done that myself, you need to write down. And I'd say use AI for this, but at the same time, I don't want you to use AI at first. I want you to go into like the very um into very good websites that you think you understand, that the goal is clear, like the mission is clear, like what you they do is super clear, and analyze that. So for example, they're like about us, the Dentiva, our general clinic, right? So okay, you're like, okay, they are like, Dentiva is a general clinic, perfect. And then they talk a little bit like about what they do. So it's like, at Dentiva, we redefine dental care as easy, consistent, and pleasant. We make dental visits convenient, reliable, and even enjoyable. Okay, so wow, as a client, I'm reading this as a user. Basically, it's more like a user. A client is when someone has already bought from you. You're like, okay, I understand. This is I'm trying to understand where what they do, right? Like, okay, they're a dental care, dental clinic, great. They want me to feel, you know, it's that is like a consistent and like a pleasant thing. So that's amazing. And then like, crafted to streamline and enhance journey for business teeth. Okay. So here they're kind of like talking about their value proposition, right? Like, us marketeers, us founders, we kind of know like what is behind this. So here, as you can tell, I'm gonna give place so you can like see all the info. As you can tell here, um, okay, I'm gonna go full screen so you can actually see the whole thing. Okay, so here it's like, okay, now they're talking about um their mission, their values, and their mission, vision, and values, which I think it's great. I think sometimes we also underestimate the value of putting these things on our website because we're like, yeah, nobody cares about that. But I think people do. If clients, I mean users, feel aligned with your mission, your vision, and your values, they're going to be more likely to become your clients. So I think, yes, it's very important for you to share that with your future clients, right? So as you can see, which each like statement, they share more information about what they do and why they do it and why you should be their client. So as you can see, they're like, okay, we envision a sales process that is straightforward, effective, and driven by data. Our platform is designed to remove uncertainty and empower your sales teams. Okay, interesting. So they're like, our mission is to, you know, delivering compassionate, patient first care built on trust, transparency, and respect. Okay, I like that. Their mission is basically patient centered service grounded in trust, transparency, and mutual. Okay, and their values, right? Honesty, openness, and respect. That's great. So all of this is not only very clear, and the way it's like designed, it's also very easy to use. Like, I completely understand what I'm doing here. Um, and it's very like, the structure, the layout of this part of the website, it's super, traditional. Like, sometimes you don't need to go crazy with websites. Like, you can actually just like build something like this, and it's gonna be way better than if you go crazy and you build something that no one knows how to use or no one knows where to click. this is something that I want you to understand a lot, that sometimes we focus so much on like, oh, I need this website to look so nice. Yes, that's important, but as you can see here, it's very clear, okay, this is kind of like what they do. There's a little bit more of an explanation, an image, so you can see them working. And it's like, oh yeah, it seems like she's happy, like the patient is happy, and like the dentist is like very nice and very gentle. And then you can see their missions, like this are called oh my gosh, it has a name. I just forgot. So you can see, okay, their mission, their vision, their value, and like a very small description of each one of those. And then you can go and you see like kind of like the same structure, but the photo is just on the other side. But there's also like a title, kind of like a subtitle. And this is very important and very interesting. I love when websites put like numbers, so established in 2015, how many users they've used, how many companies. So this is very nice. As you can see, they're not going crazy about the design. It looks really nice, very polished, and it looks very like very intentional, because it's very easy to understand, very easy to read. Also, their fonts are very easy to understand. They're not using like crazy fonts. It's super easy. You don't have to go crazy with fonts either. Like this is probably a very very common font, and it looks way nicer than if you go crazy and it's like a font that no one knows how to read and it's just complicated. Like make it as easier as you can for users. And then, okay, we're looking into different elements. Here's a button. Like, what does it say? If you're going to use buttons, they have to have a purpose. In this case, it's schedule a consultation. If you're going to use buttons, make sure each button has a purpose, has like a CTA. If you are in social media, if you use a lot of social media, you can see that, at the end of like a carousel, at the end of a video, at the end or in the caption, people add like a CTA, a call to action. You're telling the people what to do next. That is basically the same thing here when you're building a website. So schedule consultation. Okay, I'm gonna click on this to show you where this takes me. Okay, so it takes me to the book appointment thing. You remember that I showed you before that we've seen this page before. So this is important because you start connecting different pages with other pages. So this is why it's so important for you to make clear on your Excel how many pages you have, like the link for them, because then you are gonna have to start like kind of like cross websiting, kind of like cross posting, but for websites, your links, and this is gonna be way easier if you have control on the websites that and like the layers you have and the pages, of course, that you have, which is this, right? Like here it is, like the book appointment page. So basically, what they did was, okay, I'm gonna click it here, and then, okay, no, wait, why can't I click? Wait, I should be able to click here. Just mm, okay. I don't know what's happening. I'm not like being able to. Okay, yeah. Sorry, my bad. Um, Wait, no. I wanna the about what is this one? Schedule. Wait. Okay, review? No, this is like okay, I guess it's a business container. Oh, okay. Sometimes okay, this was already built. This is a template, so sometimes when you're using templates it's a little bit hard for um for you to understand like where where to put these things. So yeah, if you're building a website from scratch, just make sure that you're being very intentional for the things that you're building here, and not just put a lot of text and not just put a lot of elements that you're not going to be able to hold. If you're starting from scratch, I will completely recommend for you to use a template. It's way easier. You just need to like um, kind of like put your own text on everything. It makes way more sense. But if you want to go in with everything and just do your own website from scratch, you can also do that, which is gonna what we're gonna talk about soon. Um, but yeah, so this was like kind of like the first part of this webinar. I wanted to talk about like the general things that you need to take care in a website. And yeah, okay. I want to talk about now a little bit about if you're doing this from scratch. So I'm gonna go to the main page, and I'm gonna create a new project. Okay. Oh, you can see there my website. Yeah, I know it's not done. Okay, blank. Many websites, and what I like about Framer a lot is that it lets you build a lot of things. So here I'm gonna add the phone wheel, so it already gives you the measures and everything. You don't need to fix any of that. We're gonna start with desktop, and one of the things that are most important is, okay, I'm gonna click the plus here, the insert. This thing has AI. So first I'm gonna teach you how to do it from scratch, which is Framer already gives you like this basics, which they're called sections. You can do it, use them light or dark. We're gonna go light today. So as you can see, there's like a lot of templates, okay? Like what websites usually use, and that is like the whole point of this. If you're gonna start from scratch, it's okay, but I will recommend you a lot to kind of have like a template, even if it's blank. You need to like respect. So there's a thing called user interface in design, and basically what it means is like there's like rules that all of websites, all app or all of the apps that we use and everything have like certain measures, and the reason why they exist is because they've been made for users to feel comfortable using them. So I'm gonna grab this one, and I'm gonna add a hero. This is gonna be maybe okay. We're gonna make like a, I don't know, what should we do? I'm gonna take a sip while I think about it. Maybe we could do about books. So, the most amazing books ever. You are welcome to, I don't know, how can we call our library? Mm, Athena. Athens. Athene. Athens. We're gonna call it like that. Athens. Um, the book, the library for Gen Z, for example. And here I can add an image, right? But what I want you to show is that yes, I can add more parts of the website like this. If maybe I want to talk about the genres of the books, and here I can like, I don't know, fiction, and we put like a description, right, about like why or what are we talking about in an image, and then maybe we'll talk about politics. I don't know, like what books do we sell, and maybe here like novels. No, that's fiction. I don't know, science, for example. So yeah, That's great, right? But what if, and maybe, I don't know, I have like a book club. Oh, wait. Maybe I have a book club and I want to have like a subscription thing, then I can also add it. And if you can see, they already give me the buttons here so I can just edit them, which is super great. And I love that feature. But also going to show you something else. Here, you can click on wireframer, and well, you can basically tell Framer what kind of like website you want to build. So this is going to help you a lot because it's going to build like a structure, always using this pre-made like sections. But I'm going to tell it. Hi. Okay, I always say hi to AI. I'm going to make a layout for a library in New York City. Uh, All Athens for Gen Z. It's meant to show most their core books from topics of politics, science, and fiction. We also have a subscription um um or a book club, and we're gonna do the landing page. Oh no, no. It just literally deleted what I just wrote. Jeez. Okay, but let's try this. It says create a landing page for my design startup. I would like a hero with a banner, a logo string, some pictures, and a newsletter section. I like that. Let's try that one. So I wanna show you what it's gonna do. It's gonna build that from scratch. Okay, I think it left what I already built before, but it's gonna add whatever I want it to. So this is great. Look, it even like edits like the text, which is great. Sometimes we wanna, like I said before, we overcomplicate ourselves. We're like, I wanna put all of this information, but you don't need a lot of information. So it's like design evolved, creative solutions for brands. I think it looks amazing. Then here, like the brands you work with, the branding, what services you have, join our list, great design tips and news. This is great. Okay, this is like the one I had built before, which also works. And I want you to look at something. Okay, this is my tablet version, right? I want to add like a phone. And as you can see, it automatically, um, like designs this for a phone, which is very important because we need this to always have the same layout for it to make sense. Have you ever entered to a website that doesn't make sense, that is kind of like crazy, that is very hard to use, that when you use it on your phone, like everything moves and it's just like very hard? Well, it's because they're not thinking about the user interface when it comes to designing for your phone. They only thought about the desktop version, which is not the majority of how your users are going to use your website at all. So this was all for today, guys. I hope that this was a really good introduction for websites. This literally everything I taught you today took me like 4 months to learn. So I think you'll be fine without me from now on. If you have more questions, I'm very happy to answer them on the comments. In the comments, you can leave your questions, and maybe I can do more videos about this. But this is like, I guess, like the most important thing, that you can use a little bit of AI, and of course, like the rest, you're gonna have to do it yourself. You can change the fonts, the images here, the buttons, like everything still needs to get designed. But this gives you like a very good like start. um and if you want to use a template, like there's a lot of free templates, and you can also pay for templates, which is great because maybe you need something a little bit more specific. And if you're gonna pay someone to do this for you, then at least you already have like the basics of how a website should be designed and what you should take into account before you actually start like designing the whole thing. I will always recommend looking at that Excel first. There's a lot of resources in Nielsen Norman Group website about this, so you can also take a look into that if you need more information. But yeah, I just could go on and talk about. Were you looking at my? Sorry. So yeah, that is like the whole thing. Whoops. I'm gonna. Yeah, that's perfect. So yeah, thank you so much for your time. This was everything for today. Talking about websites. I guess I'll do more episodes later, but yeah, that was it. Thank you. Bye.